Hi, and welcome to the Matching Mom Jeans pod. I'm Nicole,
And I'm Shelby.
and we're kind of in mourning a little bit.
I
Fake,
know.
fake mourning. I was supposed to be coming to Arkansas this summer, and the stupid United States military, which we do support in this household, but also hate in this household because we can do that because we are a military family. They really screwed me over. And as much as they screwed me over on like coming to get to see you, they really messed up my life when it comes to Archer's birthday party.
I know because Auntie Shelby throws the best birthday parties, and I had so many things planned.
Well, and
Oh,
honestly, like this poor boy, like I don't even know what day we're celebrating his birthday because his dad will be gone with the military for his birthday. And then we want his brother to be here, but then it's summer visitation with both households. And so he's not going to be here until like Memorial Day. And then Memorial Day is my mother in law's birthday. And so, like, we try to respect the
oh
sanctity of
no.
that. Yeah, we try to respect the sanctity of that. And so then, like, sometime in the first 2 weeks of June, but we're also trying to plan it around like so people can visit and come. And we have some other families in the neighborhood that have, like visitation schedules. And then, like, we're trying to get mom and Papa Kevin over here. And that has to be worked out with like work schedules. And then, like, it's just an actual logistical disaster, and that doesn't even include the fact that I suck at birthday parties. I
At
suck
this
at them. I
point,
don't
you can just roll it into my daughter's second birthday party. That's fine.
That's
Just
what
just prolong it till December, roll it all together.
Yeah.
We'll make a big
Well,
bash.
and then there's my middle child turns 6 in July, and so we have to prioritize his birthday in July. So I have,
Because
like,
he actually knows when
June.
his birthday is.
Yes, he knows when his birthday is. We usually do it like, my children are incredibly indebted to both my mom and my mother-in-law for their birthday parties because, like, I don't do my stepson's birthday party. Like, it is done at my mother-in-law's house. She has a pool. She usually does the cake. Like, she
Right.
is I just
That's her
bring the
thing. Well,
child.
there's party people and then there's not party people. You've never been a party person. I am a
I
party person.
Yeah. So you are probably still gonna be in charge of my son's birthday. It's just not I he's
Hey,
turning
if
2, and
2020 taught us anything, it's that we can do anything remotely. I can totally plan a birthday party virtually.
Yes, you can. Well, and I was thinking about that. So, like, for our middle son's second birthday, we didn't really do much because he was 2, and so we did, like, a little cake, and at that time we were at my mother-in-law's house, so she had a pool, but he was afraid of water, so it wasn't that great of an experience for him. The rest of us had fun. And then for his third birthday, it was smack dab in the middle of the summer of 2020. So we did a grandparents only water party, and we like set up all of the water toys outside, and we had like a sprinkler, and we had water balloons and water guns, and like
The ideal summer birthday.
he loved it. And so, like, no joke, I'm considering doing that for the second birthday party. Like, I'm literally just being like, I bet you he would love it. Like, mom got him a water table for outside because
Oh,
he
yeah.
absolutely adores water. So I'm thinking about just like seeing if some of my mom friends want to come over. Seeing if some of our friends with visitation schedules and everything can make it happen, and just like, I don't know, because I feel awful, and it's like the mental load around a birthday party feels
It's
so
heavy.
much it feels so much bigger than it should be. Like,
Well,
it
yeah, I
really.
do think that birthday parties have kind of gotten out of control. And part of that is because it's like it is some people's jam,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean it has to be everybody's jam. I mean, like, even if we think about birthdays growing up, like, sometimes just having a tray of grocery store cupcakes at your elementary school classroom for everybody to share and everybody singing to you, and then 10 minutes later it's over. Like, sometimes that was so much more exciting than a birthday party. And then sometimes big birthday parties are where it's at, but it all depends on, like, what you're doing.
Well, and see, like, I do feel like maybe I put a little undue pressure on myself because I am surrounded by people. Like, you love birthday parties.
Because you're a
Mom
mom.
Well, and our mother always did birthday parties really big. Like we always had piñatas and our birthday's right next to Easter. And so, we had Easter egg hunts and we had pizza, like all of the like kind of cool things, which I do understand is kind of an older kid thing. So like I'm feeling the pressure as our middle child gets older. But like it's also one of those things where like poor Rory, like I don't think we've ever done like a good birthday party for her, but she's always
Hey,
so appreciative. Like
I've been to a couple of her birthday shindigs. They're
I
fun.
I text her like a month ago and was like, "Hey, I found these things on Pinterest where you can make mushroom cupcakes where you make a cupcake and then you put green icing and then you put a little mini marshmallow and like the bottom pokey half of a strawberry and it looks like a mushroom and you stick it on top of the cupcake." And I was like, "Can we do these for your birthday?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, that would be awesome because she likes mushrooms right now." And I was like, "Done." And I told JJ, I was like, "Rory's birthday party is planned." And he was like, "Because you know the style of cupcake?" And I was like, "Yes, done."
I have one thing. I just want one thing to make the day special, and I've already decided it is a mushroom.
We are
Amazing.
good.
I mean, like that's the key to. I mean, even like I think back to like when I was planning my wedding, and my husband and I we planned and paid for our wedding entirely ourselves, and we were college students. And so we were broke and we had to be frugal. And one of the best pieces of advice I got, and I still hold it for every special occasion to this day, is to pick three priorities and then everything else gets your the best I can with what I've got kind of effort. And that's
Oh, I
like for
like that.
money, that's for energy, that's for time. And when it comes to being a mom, that's for your tone of voice. And what I mean by that is like when it comes to special events, one of my top priorities is always getting at least one picture. I'm a picture person. I love pictures.
Me
So
too.
if you see me at my kid's birthday party, under my breath say, "No, we're taking a picture right now." That is probably the only time you're going to hear me say that. I'm not going to worry
Yeah.
about some other kid opening their presents. I'm not going to worry about like any of the other things. I don't care if they like the cake or eat the cake or any of the other things. I am going to prioritize using my energy and my time and that all of my resources are going to go to those top 3 priorities and everything else is a give them my best shot.
That's interesting
So,
because I do think that I kind of innately have those priorities, but sometimes and I think some of the pressure I feel is like I'm not very good at following through on them. Like I am a picture person as well and I always want a cute birthday picture. And, like, last year for his first birthday, like, I didn't get one. I got the cute, like, with the with the pretty, like, thing behind him where we were counting up the months of his life, and I have to do that again for his second birthday, and I'm excited about that. Oh, you got me that blanket. That's right. You know exactly what it looks like.
I love a
Um
good milestone blanket.
yeah, and so, like, I got that picture, but, like, actually celebrating, he was afraid of his cake. He wanted to eat a chunk out of the candle. We were it was really hot. It was kinda the end of the day, we just weren't there, and, like, I don't think I got a picture of me and him. Like, I think, there are other people who got, like, active photos and candid photos, and I do treasure those, but, like, we didn't get, like, a pretty picture, if that makes sense, and so, like,
Yeah.
I do think I'm gonna make an effort this year, and I kinda have, like, I kinda have, like, 2 chances because his birthday is on Mother's Day this year, and so I invited our mom and Papa Kevin here, and so they will be here for the actual day since my husband will be gone, and, like, Rory will be home from college, I hope, by then,
So
and
there'll be
so
there'll be lots of hands on deck. Even if it's not all hands on deck, there'll be lots of hands on deck.
yeah, so, like, maybe I can take the opportunity then to, like, get a picture of, like, "Hey, this is, quote, unquote, his birthday." But weirdly enough, like, when I sit here and think about, like, birthday party priorities as far as the memories, what matters to me is, like, the cake. Isn't that weird? Like
That's not weird. That's totally okay because you got to think about it. We experience life through our senses. I have a friend who
Oh.
every year on her birthday, she burns a candle that was like a special candle scent or whatever, and it's been discontinued. And she's got like four of them in the top of her closet because she bought them when they got discontinued. And it's like a
Aw.
special candle, and she only burns it on special occasions. But here's the thing, that's one of her senses. What you
Yeah.
see, what you feel, what you smell, what you taste, like we have for the last since my daughter was born, so for the last year, every special occasion we've made this strawberry cake recipe that one of the family members shared with me. Was my husband said, "Oh, we should make strawberry cake for her first birthday and try to make a tradition of it." Well, it was so good that we also ate it for his birthday. And then when my birthday rolled around, I was like, it wouldn't be my birthday without strawberry cake. And
Yeah,
so it's
it's
become a little bit
crazy
of a
how
thing.
it's crazy how fast that happens. Like, my birthday cake always is like a Kroger or Walmart, like, red velvet cake because that is what our mother
Specifically a
ate.
Kroger or a Walmart one.
Yes, you can't make them. That was what our mother always did for her birthday cake, and for some reason now it is deeply ingrained, and it has, like, overshadowed, like, funfetti cake, which was, like, mine when I was a child, and, like, now, like, my grown-up birthday cake is red velvet cake with the little
Oh.
roses with the little roses on it, you
The
remember?
frosting roses were so good. We used to
Right? Yeah,
totally, totally like you had to stare at it for a few minutes to pick out which frosting rose you were going to eat.
exactly. It's like a core memory, and now it's not my birthday unless I have one, and literally, JJ was also gone on my birthday this year, and so, like, I told mom they came in just to, like, so I had a little festivity, and Rory came in from college, and they were like, "What do you wanna do?" And I was like, "I don't wanna cook dinner, so we're having pizza, and
Right?
I want red velvet cake." And that was it, like, that was what I wanted for my birthday, and it was wonderful. And now, like, we did go and, like, celebrate at the aquarium because that's, like, a new family goal that was, like, 2019 and carried over, is, like, I love to do, like, the memory of that, and then we didn't get to do it for years, and so we got to do a little one, nearby for my actual birthday, and then we're going, like, this next weekend, with all of the kids because I wanted that memory, like, that is my
Of everybody there.
yeah, and so I love experiences for birthdays. I think that's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Rory's really good at that. I think she does a good job, like, balancing, like, I'd like this for my birthday, but also this is what I would like to do. Um, I don't know. I just, like, I like what you're saying about, like, picking your priorities and then kinda letting the rest go because I do think there's
Well,
this
because
weird
the shotgun
pressure.
approach is just so exhausting. If you don't
It
choose your
is.
priorities and you don't take like a calculated approach, then the only other alternative is, well, I guess technically there's the alternative of do nothing. And there are some people who do. They just act like their birthday's not there, and maybe that's fine for them. Like, but you can't make that decision for a young child, I feel like. You can you
Yeah.
can you can shape hear me when I say that I'm not saying that you have to have a birthday party for your child, but to not mark it as a special occasion in a way that your family values and honors it as a special occasion, I feel like does your child a disservice. So if you're one of those experiences over stuff family, then don't have the birthday party. But do have the special day where you rent the hotel room and you swim in the hotel pool and you jump on the fluffy bed and you all curl up and eat their favorite meal.
Yeah.
Like, do something in a way that you and your child and your family recognize it. And so
Yeah.
if you choose to do something and you don't have a calculated approach, the other option is this like exhausting and potentially problematic shotgun approach where you're
Yeah.
like, you're
Shotgun
not
approach, I like
efficient in
that.
any way and you might really nail it. Like shotguns can, really hit their mark. But the thing is they can also not do what you want them to either. I don't know why I'm talking about
Yeah.
guns. I hate guns, but you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, I do.
like you could still do a shotgun approach and just nail it, especially when your kids are young and they're easy to please and they're happy and but you might look back on that and think differently of it, or you might think you did great and not. And so it's like, I feel like just like choosing what you can value and choosing what you can put your effort into and trying to have that align with what your family values,
Yeah.
then great. Like your child's
I
not
think
going to
that
remember their first birthday but they might want a picture of their first birthday. Whether it's a
Exactly.
candid or not a candid or whatever, like it might be nice to have. And so
Yeah.
that
When
that
they're
as one of my priorities aligns with what I want for my daughter, which I want her to have those memories.
Yeah,
She
that
will
makes a lot of
never
sense.
she might not care what I got her for her first birthday, but she might want the recipe for the strawberry cake that we made for her first birthday, and she might want the picture, and those were my priorities, and that's what I have.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do think that in our family a priority is food because we do try to make everyone's favorite like for their birthday, and that does make a lot of sense. That makes me feel a little bit better because I'm sitting here thinking about like that's why this has like come up in my brain and why I was kind of like let's talk about this because I have actually been sitting here thinking like how do I make a party like in the middle of the summer, which again, like I feel like I'm lucky because I do have summer birthdays for both boys versus like you have the dead of winter. Um, but that
And
brings
it's
in
already
half.
a holiday.
Yeah, that
So
is true. I didn't know if you wanted to mention that. But like yeah, you have a holiday baby, which is totally kind of crazy. Um, but yeah, no, it's kind of odd because we I don't know, like you feel a lot of pressure and it's like even like you do and you have like a half birthday. So you then have to do like cuz if you want your child to have like a warmer birthday party, then you have to have the half birthdays and I think everybody knows somebody who does that. But it's
oh, I
like
love
then
a half birthday.
you kind of have two birthdays that you two birthday parties you have to throw.
That's because I love them, though. Like,
That
I
is
love
true.
the excuse to get everybody together, and we don't do cakes for half birthdays. That's, like, one of the number 1 rules is there can't be a cake.
Ooh,
So, like, the sweets are anything other than cake because birthday cake is for birthdays.
that is true. I
Okay.
like that. That's a
So
sacrament.
yeah, and, we have specific half birthday decorations. There's an old birthday banner that I cut in half, and so all the letters are just half there, and so, like, that kinda stuff's already decided, and so
I love that.
it's it's not really that much of an effort. So when we talk about, like, a half birthday versus a real birthday, like, the real birthday is the one that I'm, like, really after the memories. The half birthdays, I'm just after the fun. I'm just
I
after
like
the
that.
let's get the people together. Let's last year her half birthday is in July, and last year we just really 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 enjoyed the little kiddie pool and
Oh, yeah.
some fruit, and it's just like it's just the fun. It's none of the birthday and all of the fun, I think is what I said, or something like, or half, it's the half birthday, but the full fun, or something like that. I don't know. Last year that was my theme, was half of the year, but all of the fun, or something like that. And
I like
might
that.
just stick
Yeah.
with that.
I was a little bummed because I was totally looking forward to her half birthday plus my son's second birthday and doing butterflies, I think is what we decided because 'cause they're both super into butterflies.
So into butterflies. I'm not gonna lie, I had thought that a little, like, garden tea party theme would have been perfect for them, with
Oh,
butterflies and all the little garden books that they're into right now, and all of the fresh veggies and fruit and sandwiches that are little tiny and stuff like that. I thought it would be so fun. We could have a big
yeah.
picnic, and they could just run around like crazy lunatics like they are, and, you know,
I
vibes.
like that. I will say my mother-in-law kinda made my life a little bit easier this weekend. We were talking about birthdays, and like I said, she's on it. Like, she already has, the July birthday handled, and so, she was talking about cake molds instead of just, like, buying cakes or having to make them, and she got a car cake mold for my middle son, and, like, that is his thing. He loves cars, and we can decorate it different every year if we want to. Like, we could do, a taxi or a race car, whatever we wanna do, and so while she was on Amazon, she was like, "Oh, they have an airplane one." And like my littlest one loves airplanes, probably because his dad's a pilot. And we recently took him to go see planes on the tarmac and all of those
He
fun
loves
things. And
planes.
so he loves planes. And I was like, it doesn't have to be like a theme. That's another thing that I'm trying to remind myself is like you don't have to like commit hardcore to a theme. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but like for people like me, it's kind of hard. And so I was like, I was like, get the airplane mold, and every year for the next like 4 years until he decides he wants something different, his cake's gonna be an airplane. Done. Airplane cake.
Tradition. Done.
Yeah, there we go. And you just put a different number on the side because they have numbers on their tail cone or things.
Oh, like his
Um,
little birthday could be his tail number.
yes,
Love that.
exactly.
Love
And
that.
so I was like, that's going to be great. I'll do, another cake, like a big sheet cake if we have more people. Um, but like that was a huge load off. Like that casual conversation where she was like, "Oh, do you want me to order this too? Because then we'll have a car and an airplane." And I was like, "Heck yes." And so like already I feel like you're right in so many ways of like make it easy for yourself. But then I also have this theory, and you and I've talked about this. Um, Birthdays, we so totally focus on the kid as moms, but like they can also be like, for lack of a better way to say, like a trauma anniversary or just an anniversary of like giving birth. And I hadn't
Right?
directly had that with my oldest too, because one is adopted and one is my stepson. And so for those, their birthdays are all about them. Like that is, we have kind of a gotcha day for Rory, and we have, kind of my anniversary with my stepson of like when I got together with his dad and met him for the first time and those kinds of dates that are important. But, like, it really was a game changer for my son whenever I realized that, like, oh, a year ago or now almost 2 years ago, my
Wasn't the best day in my life.
well and for
Well,
me,
maybe it was for
actually.
you. I had a really, really scary birth, so
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna
it
say is
was not the most fun
for me, actually, even though I was very sick and miserable at the end of my pregnancy, which I would say probably everyone is, I had a really wonderful, like, I have a very wonderful memory of my birth. I really, I wouldn't say enjoyed, but I've even more into the idea that I won't get to do it again because I definitely can't have another pregnancy. And so there is kind of this moment where, like, I felt a little grief whenever my, like, Google memories came up this morning and like the last couple of days. There's been all of these really cool ones. Like, we made it, we're recording this on May 2nd. And, yesterday, May 1st, was the biggest day in my pregnancy because it was my son had reached like 35 weeks, I think. Yeah, 35 weeks. And he was 100% viable. Like he was able to be out of me. He was going to survive. He was good. Um, and literally every doctor I had was like, just make it to May, just make it to May. And so like looking back on May 1st, that's always going to be kind of an important date. And I had kind of this moment of like, yes, we're looking forward to, his birthday and things like that. But I think there's also kind of honoring the mother's experience in that in some ways, even with our mom, couple weeks ago was our birthday, and I told her, I was like, yeah, 30 years ago you gave birth to twins, dude. Like that's still significant. Like it still
Yeah.
flows in your veins in some ways. And like you said, for someone like you who had a negative thing, I can imagine that it's really fun to celebrate your child's birth. And I'm not saying that that's not, a good thing. But I can imagine that there are people who struggle so much with birthdays out of kind of this kind of weirdness in with the memory, if that makes sense. It's probably a
Well,
little convoluted.
especially with my daughter's birthday, I think it wasn't necessarily, like, weird or anything like that, but in some ways, I felt like it just put so much extra pressure on it
Yeah.
because I wanted the best day to, like, really, really just kind of blot out some of the memories of the year before. Like, I wanted it to be just so much better as, like, a look how far we've come kind of vibes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
actually for my daughter's birthday, it was, but it wasn't. Like, I remember having conversations with my husband of, like, I kinda thought we'd be in a different place a year later. I thought my postpartum
Mm.
depression would be in a different place a year later. I thought that, like, our lives would look different a year later. And so you look at her and she's wonderful and she's growing like a weed and she is so smart and so capable and like it's hard to watch your kids grow. And
It
it's
is.
also hard to watch your kids grow because they're growing every day and they're just marking time that just keeps passing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sorry, but like I'm not that person that like has looked in the mirror every day for the last 5 years and felt like I looked different and was reminded that time was passing. I mean, I
Yeah.
was straight
No.
up paused for most of 2020. You know what I mean? Like things were not different. Sometimes the shirt I was wearing was not different. But every single day of her first year, every single day of this year, her second year, has been a reminder that time is passing.
Yeah, there's a grief that comes with birthdays sometimes in motherhood, in my opinion, because I do see that. I think I really felt that with Rory when she hit like her 16th, 17th, and 18th birthday. Like her upcoming birthday is her 20th birthday, and that feels
Whoa.
yeah, that feels so significant, even though she has only lived with us for you know 5 years. I may be miscounting that, but you know there is this significant when you look at your child and go, "Oh, you're a full adult." Like when did that happen?
You have grown.
When did we permit that? And I think, we didn't have that eureka moment when she turned 18 because she was still in school. And then, this last year when she graduated high school and went away to college, it's been this entire interesting walk of like celebration and pride and grief and, really acknowledging, she's finishing her first year of college. I can close my eyes and remember finishing my first year of
And
college.
she's so remarkably capable.
Yes, and you're like, "When did that happen?" I remember when we had to have conversations about putting leftovers in the fridge because your stomach will fail in regards to bacteria. Like
Right.
you're not an iron stomach. You can't do this. Like we
Like
have to discuss bacteria now. And
the
it's like,
basic
"Oh,
conversations on how to take care of yourself and not give yourself food poisoning. And
yes.
yet, for this entire year, she has fed herself. She has sometimes been in charge of feeding others.
Yeah. It's
She's
insane." So,
remarkably capable. And it's just a reminder that, like, the world keeps turning.
yeah, I do think birthdays, and maybe that's why we do, as a culture, kind of put a lot of, and I say culture at large, I don't just mean American culture. Like, I do think we put these really beautiful, um, we try to make birthdays beautiful because maybe there is this moment of, chasing away this, like, oh, wow, have you seen this? Like, have you seen how different you look from last year to this
I
year?
think I think all milestones are somewhat bittersweet. Like,
That
I've
is
just
true.
always felt that way because, like, I mean, even graduation is not inherently all good. There's the fear of what's next. There's the sadness of it'll never be the same. Like, at least for me, like graduation, it was a bittersweet moment. Relief, but also taking a deep breath and about to charge up another hill. Like,
Yeah.
and and with and maybe the exception of, I mean, but even anniversaries sometimes can be bittersweet for people.
Yeah.
Because
I
it is a showcase. I mean, when my husband and I, we passed our 5-year wedding anniversary in May of 2020. And that was a stop and look around because 5, everybody talks about your 5-year plan.
yeah.
Well, 5-year plan. There it is, the 5 years, you know? And
Ours is this
so
Sunday. Ours is this Sunday, and I will be celebrating it back in Nashville, far away from my husband. It's not our wedding anniversary, but
bum, bum.
it is our 5-year anniversary, and, I realized that this morning of like, well, we'll also be apart on our anniversary, and that's my fault because I'm going to Nashville. And we met in Nashville, so ta-da, we're gonna pretend like that counts.
Really,
I
it's
can't
his fault
go
for not being there. It's fine.
I can't go revisit the place where we had our first date or our second date because both have been destroyed.
Oops. Well, there's that.
They're both gone. Although we got married in the park where we had our third date. So, ta-da!
Well, you could totally go there. So there you go.
It's the only
Um,
surviving. It's the only surviving structure.
that's wild to me. Just a reminder though, things change. Like
Yeah.
all milestones are an opportunity to look both forward and backwards. And if you're just like a truly honest human, I feel like it's hard to look back without a little bit of bittersweetness.
Yeah. I do get
But
that.
I think that's just another reason to lean into not making birthdays and birthday parties a source of stress or a source of sadness or anger. If you know, like if you're worried about who's going to be there or who's not going to be there, then make your priority the people you know that will be there. You know, like make it there, you know, focus your mind on the things that you can control and let the rest go.
Mindfulness. No, I do think I'm glad we're having this conversation. I think that I also am going to have to separate for my own mental health some of cuz my son and my son's birthday and our birthday are 3 weeks apart. And in between there are some other things like today is May 2nd. It is my childhood friend's birthday who's dead now. It's his 30th birthday.
I
And
didn't think about that when I saw the date this morning.
I know.
That's really
It's
sad.
it's heartbreaking because when I gave birth, I had this very funny conversation of like, haha, you are now like between because his birthday is 10 days after ours. And then it's 12 days before my son's birthday. And I was like, we were so close to being dead center. Like we were so close. And we had
Right.
had
11 and 11 or something.
he and I had the conversation when my son was born of like, well, when we passed our May 1st, he was like, good, you made it to May 1st. Now have him on my birthday. And I was like, I don't have a baby tomorrow. Like, that's a horrible idea.
It's a big ask. It's a really big ask.
Like, I mean, I've been having some contractions and they are not fun. I need 2 more weeks to come up with this. Like, so I do think that like as you get older, there's this, and I think I'm too in my head about it. I think that happens to everyone.
I
Um,
think I think moms in general see a lot of unrealistic expectations around
Valid.
birthdays.
My
There's a
baby will
lot of
not be
unrealistic. I
having.
mean, you can't follow influencers without seeing unrealistic expectations. But
Yeah,
all
I
you gotta
we will
to
not.
reframe that, what you really need to think about is if this influencer boiled down what their 3 priorities of the day were, content would be one of them.
Oh, that's really good way to look at that because I do think that, like, I do think like, do I even want to try to get a picture that's like good enough for Instagram? Like, I mean, that is a true thing, and it's
But you
like
don't
this.
have to if that's not your priority. And if it is your priority,
Oh,
then go for it. One of my favorite influencers is like so artsy and craftsy and does
yeah.
all of the things. And for her daughter's first birthday, there was so much DIY'd. And somebody asked questions and they were like, you know, did you DIY this because you couldn't make it yourself or because you couldn't buy it yourself or whatever? And she was like, one, it was a whole lot cheaper. If it's cheaper, I can do more. And I wanted more. And
Yeah.
two, I really thoroughly enjoyed this. Like, what else was I going to do? I was thinking constantly about her first birthday and I had this plan for the last 3 months. So I thought I could work on it for a week or I could work on it for 3 months. And I'm like, if she hadn't answered that question, so many people would have been like, whoa, just another influencer birthday.
Yeah. That's
You
a good
know,
way to
but
look at it. I'm glad that.
instead it was just fun for her. She just wanted to have fun. Like her and her mom did a lot of it.
Yeah. That's how I felt about that's how I felt about when my son was really young and we would do like the months and like celebrate the months was there were some months where I was like, ooh, he is 4 months old and for some reason I really care about this. And so like you can see like on his milestones, well, of course he his 11-month milestone picture was at your house and the blanket wouldn't even stay on the wall. Like that's the funniest milestone picture in all of
I
his and
know
I love it.
it was such a mess.
But it's one of those things where, like, it is one of those. I'm so glad that you brought the conversation of priorities, because I'm actually feeling better, because there is something to that. Like, my kids' gifts are usually, we do 2 or 3, and they're usually something that I bought. Every 6 months we have like a consignment sale, and we try to sell off some of the old things and get new things. And so they've been bought,
But
like,
is
both.
your priority for their birthday to stock them up for toys for the next 6 months? Because for some people, it is.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
it
for
doesn't
us
have to
it's
be.
yeah, for us it's to get things that we know they'll like, but not necessarily what is, like, for things they'll like long term. Like, I'm really glad that my stepson doesn't listen to this podcast, because I'm about to tell you what his present is, and I love it. I found these little car loop things that him and his brother can push the buttons on either side, or he can sit sideways and hit both of them, and then they shoot the cars into each other and they crash. And, like, I'm expecting them to
So
like
they'll
that
get to
until they are.
play together
Yeah,
for
and that was
years
and,
together.
like, and for my youngest, we got, the, like, middle stage of Legos so that they can build together. And so it's like, those things are important to us to think ahead. And of course, if the 6-year-old runs up to me and is like, I really want this for my birthday, then I might reach out to a grandparent of like, hey, he specifically
Well,
asked for this.
and you can't
But
control what priorities other people have. Like some people are going to have some, especially grandparents might have the priority when it comes to your child's birthday of I want to get them the biggest bestest present. And that might
yeah,
be their priority, but you can't control that. All you can do is control your priority, and you can try to instill gratitude in your child, and then you can
yeah.
try to figure out where to store it or if it has to live at the grandparents' house.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I'll put myself on the spot too. Try to
Put yourself on
let's
the spot.
Yeah, that's how that works, right? You can just, like, okay, me, shape it up.
Pop
um,
quiz to myself.
hey, that is what grocery shopping is to me every single time I go. Pop quiz, Nicole. What do you need from the store?
No, it's
And
not. That's so
that is
funny.
that's what yesterday and today. That's why I went to the grocery store 2 days in a row. Archer was, oh man, I have to cut that. Uh, but so what would be your first tip for, like, new moms as far as, like, birthday parties? Because I truly believe that planning birthday parties sucks. Like, if I had to distill down my thought about birthday parties, they suck. They really do. And I hate that. But you don't feel that way. So if you
No,
had
I
to,
feel a birthday party is an opportunity to celebrate something that's so important to you, your child, so important to you. I think my biggest tip would be that you get to decide within your house what a celebration looks like.
oh, I like that. I like the wording of
Like you
that.
get to decide. Don't don't base it off of what your childhood parties were like unless you loved them and you were obsessed with them and you still think about them. My
Yeah.
view of my birthday has changed completely as I get older. I have become a greedy birthday girl. Like,
What do you
I
mean?
now start April 1st, and on April 1st, I roll over and I poke my husband and I say, "Guess what? It's my birthday month."
April Fools.
No, no April Fools. It's real. It's my birthday month. And, like,
I
I've
love
I've
that.
always enjoyed and we've shared a birthday our entire lives, but when I was a kid, it was, like, fun because it was, like, our birthday
It
and we
was a
would do things
national holiday.
together and it was like a big holiday, but instead now I've grown up and I live in a
It's
completely
yours.
different state than you. It's my birthday. It's
Yeah.
mine.
Well,
So if
that's
I
who I
want to
was
do nothing, guess what? We do nothing.
That's who I was in college. And then I think living alone for, 5 years or however long I did, before meeting my husband, I just really was like, "Oh, I have to work on my birthday." Like, it was just, a day, and then I'd go home and I'd eat
Yeah.
cake. Yeah, that's fine. I got, Jinx on my birthday one year,
There you go.
and that was, arguably one of the worst birthday presents ever. to myself. She's beautiful, but she's woo,
Jinx
still
is your
alive,
cat.
by the way.
Your
Jinx is my
cat.
cat. She's a
Okay.
13-year-old, 21-pound black cat who has been on a diet. Well, she was on a diet for 2 years. She's now been off a diet for a year, and she's had zero weight fluctuations in the last 3 years. So
Oh,
she
she's
has
holding it
to.
down. She's doing good.
She's doing great. She's immune to diet culture. We'd love that for her. She's sassy.
She's achieved body neutrality.
She has. But we like I've always celebrated her birthday in April, because her birthday is April 1st. And it like kicks off my birthday season. And when I lived alone, I did her birthday and Penny, my hedgehog's birthday, bigger than I did my own birthdays. And so like now that I have kids, really arguably in the last like 3 or 4 years, it's been like, oh, birthdays matter again.
Well,
Because
but
I just
they
went
do
into a
matter, but you get to decide what matters. I think it's hard too because there's a conversation of like what you want to do for your birthday, and then there's a conversation of what you want to do for your kid's birthday. And everybody, I mean, most parents want their children to have the world. They
yeah,
want them to have the biggest, the bestest. But the thing is you're their parent. You are a pillar of the family that is helping them determine what is important to them.
yeah.
And so,
Uh,
sure, there's going to be an episode of their TV show where they have a big party with their friends that are kids, but I would argue there's probably a show out there where they get to see a birthday where they just sit down with their parents and eat their favorite meal. And if there's
yeah.
not, there really should be. Somebody should write that, you know? But like we are raising the next generation of birthday celebrators. And if they want to go big or go home, sure, great. If they want a quiet night in, if one day my daughter grows up and I call her on her birthday and ask her what she's going to do for insert some random birthday, and she just says, I bought myself a new book and I will be turning off my phone after this call. Love ya, bye. And she just like kicks her feet up and reads an entire book for as long as she wants to, go her.
We
Like,
will we will know she
slay.
is my niece.
You know what I
She's
mean? Like,
deeply
but
related to me.
we can't define that. And until they're old enough to tell us what is important to them, when you have an 11-year-old, they can tell you what their 3 priorities are for their
Oh,
birthday.
I am so looking forward to that age, and I do think that's part of my stress is because, like,
But
it
you'll
is.
still probably want to limit the number of priorities they can have, otherwise you'll go broke.
That's real. But I mean, like, there is something to be said of, like, I love the support of my village. Like I said, my mother-in-law handles my stepson's birthday, and he loves it every single year because there is pizza, because there is a pool, because she, um, she makes sure that we can have friends over, and, like, that's it. He's happy,
And
man.
he has a doting grandma who does that special for him every year.
Yeah, and then,
Like,
like, my
we don't know
youngest.
why that's his favorite thing. It could literally just be the fact that he feels special because she thought about him for weeks and
Yeah,
put this together.
yeah, and then, like, I'm excited that mom will be here to help make sure that my baby's second birthday is good because both my husband and I are like, "Oh, yes, birthday party, we should do that." But on his actual birthday, they're gonna that they'll blow up balloons. Like, her and Papa Kevin will blow up balloons, and, like, that's his priority. His birthday priority is the happy birthday song, which I will have to send you a video of him singing because
He's
they
practicing.
he's practicing. That's probably my favorite part about having a birthday close to his is that he started practicing on my birthday and has sang it every day since because he's really
Oh.
getting it down for his birthday. um but I'm glad that you kind of have that yin and yang with me of, like, you do see the positives of birthdays because honestly and truly it's been a weird year for birthdays. Like, it's been a weird year for two of my kids not really caring. Like, I don't think Rory would correct me if I say that, like, she's not a big birthday person. We're going to have, fun, but we don't really do big parties or anything like that. And she'll probably go out with her friends. And then having a 2-year-old, they don't care about their birthday. And so, like, this is the first year that my stepson has started talking about his birthday months in advance. And that does feel like a weird pressure.
Oh, that's such a
And
great age, though.
Well, good. I'll send him to your house. No, but
Yes.
it is one of those things where, like, I do wonder how many other moms are like you and how many other moms are like me, and, like, this is kind of an anxiety-inducing subject because, like, even now, my brain is kinda spinning of, like, "Okay, so we're gonna try this, and then we're gonna do this," and, like, I just got off the phone with somebody who was like, "Do we have to do it that weekend? Because I can't be there that weekend." And I was like, "Excellent, love that for us." So we're gonna have to navigate different things, and I
But
don't
you're
know.
just
I'm
going to
just
do the best you can with those things unless they're your top priority. And if they're your top priority, then you reschedule it.
birthday
Like
party
I was
priorities.
one of the things that mattered the most to me was having my daughter's first birthday on her first birthday. It
Yeah,
happened
and
to work
I
out this
I
year, and we
didn't do
happened to be
that.
able to do it, and, like, you weren't able to be there on the Monday before her birthday. My husband's parents texted and said that they weren't sure if they were gonna be able to be there, and I was just like I think my party line was literally like, "The birthday party is on this day at this time. We would love to see you." Like, that's all I
Yeah,
would say, because I
attend
just,
or
like
not.
I mean, literally, because it mattered to me that it be on the day that she turned 1.
So so if I'm hearing
Now
you correct, your priorities are typically like photo.
this year, it was photos, cake, and on the day. I didn't
Okay.
really care about the theme. I loved the theme, and we worked hard on it, but there wasn't like a mind's eye for decorations or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like I just wanted those 3 things. Those would have been my 3 priorities, and like I made my best effort to make sure people got there. So
Yeah.
I sent invitations in a timely fashion. I texted people and I reminded them, best effort. I cannot rearrange this if you can't make it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
Um
And I did not make her attitude toward her party a priority
That's true. I
because
think
I
if
didn't
I
have
had
time that
to
week. Her birthday is so close to Christmas. I did not have time that week to prep her. So we didn't
yeah, that's
practice
fair.
unwrapping presents. We didn't practice I didn't and honestly, the holidays had gone really hard for her, and so I kinda thought, "We're probably gonna have a grouchy baby at least one point today, and we will do everything we can." But, like, I was not going to take guilt on myself if we had to push some of the things around or skip a cake or skip presents or whatever because of the way that she felt that day. It was not something that I was going to force to make happen because I just couldn't. I could not do it all.
Yeah. I wonder I'm gonna help you you're gonna help me choose my priorities because I do think photo is one. I think for our family, because we are scattered to the wind with, visitation schedules and Rory at college, I think a biggest priority for us is having everyone under the same roof. And so then I guess
I
the
love
third
that.
one so I guess, like, photos and or at least a photo. I want a family photo. And actually, we may just get one this weekend at the aquarium and like mine and his
Yeah.
birthday. Um, but like I do think the third one, I don't know. And maybe I'll just leave that open for right now.
Well, maybe
Because
it's a particular outfit or it's a decoration or it's a theme or it's food or something like
m-
that. Like,
making the making the airplane cake work. Um,
yeah,
but
or it's not, and you just have two priorities, and then you have more energy to put into some of those other things. But if they don't pan out, you're fine because all you had were the two priorities.
yeah. Okay, I
Or
like that.
maybe you
I really
already
like
spent
that.
one of your priorities when you worked to find what presents you were going to give him,
Oh man, I'm pretty excited about his Legos. He's gonna be real hyped. And I'm
right?
probably gonna take the baby Legos and ship them to your house
But
because
if
those
he's not hype about it, will you be upset?
No, probably not. He's such a chill kid that, like, if he
See?
doesn't wanna do them, then I'll put them away for Christmas. He'll be
Like,
excited about them in 6 months.
if you make your priority that you want a recording of him singing happy birthday at this age and
Ooh,
you don't get
ooh.
it, that's a heartbreak. That's a heartbreak moment.
Oh, so in your mind and I love that, of, like, thinking about them as priorities to avoid the heartbreak. Like, if you lay down
Oh,
at
yeah.
night,
Because
your
if you get those
priorities are to
3
avoid what's
priorities
upsetting you.
If you get those 3 priorities and you actually do them and you are able to do them to the best of your ability, then no crying over spilled milk. No upset over everything else. You have to keep you and you may have to do it a couple times during the day. You may have to reframe. I didn't prioritize that. I'm not worried about that. Or XYZ or what, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like my daughter did not eat her first birthday cake.
Nope, neither did mine.
She really
My
didn't even
son,
want to try it. And I kind of had that expectation of like she might not, so I didn't make it a I wasn't upset. Now I did want a recording of it,
he did eat
but
a
I was
bite of
fully
a
prepared
candle.
for the recording to suck. So there's that.
That's true. He did eat a candle. He ate a chunk of his candle.
A candle.
And we do have a video of that, so that's a bonus. That wasn't a priority, but it was a bonus. Well,
Yeah.
okay, this has been a beautiful session of therapy that actually I did not know I needed, and I really appreciate. So I just public therapy about my anxiety around birthday parties. You're a really good mom and a really good party planner.
Mm, thank you. You're a really good mom and a really good prioritizer. You're going to
I
make
will.
this work. It's going to be fine.
Sure it is.